It's 104.9 Coyote Country. Time again for Fanboy Friday. And with me on the phone from Dallas, Texas, professional Q&A moderator and speaker, film critic at BigFanboy.com, and show director at the Dallas Comic Show. Once again, give it up for the one, the only, the Indiana Jones of radio, Mark Walters.
The Indiana Jones of radio?
Because
really?
you're sexy and smart, you know? 5 o'clock shadow? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take that. Why not?
All right, so how you doing this morning, man?
Things are good, man. How are you?
Doing great, man. All excited about what you got. From what I understand, you've already seen Black Panther, right?
I have. I saw it a little bit earlier this week, and man, oh man, this movie is going to make so much money. This is easily one of the best Marvel movies made, period. I would put it up there at the very, very top. I don't know if I'd say it's the best one. I think it definitely ranks up there with some of the best of the best. And it just blew me away. It was everything that I wanted it to be, and it was a lot of things that I didn't expect it to be. This is a character that Marvel has, in some form or another, trying to figure out. They've tried to figure out a way to bring this to the big screen, even going back into the 90s. At one point, Wesley Snipes was trying to get it made. Well, you know, he ended up being Blade, of course, but at one point he actually was pushing for a Black Panther movie. And so this is one of those films that, like, you know, it's been a long time coming, and I think that they wanted to make sure that they got it right and make sure that it was, you know, done in a way that was respectful to the comic, and that also introduced audiences to kind of some new concepts. You know, Marvel has been making their movies in phases. We've seen the first couple of phases of their films so far. This movie is very much meant to introduce the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think that it does that in a really, really good way, because it shows you some things that you really did not see coming, and it kind of sets up the story to where they can take it in some new and interesting territory from here. So, yeah, it's great, man. It's a really fun ride.
Now for those, and without getting into too many spoilers, for those who just don't know really much about Black Panther, how much can you tell us? How much can you tell us about basically the story without giving too much away for those who are interested in it but really just don't know? Is there kind of like a synopsis or kind of a basic character introduction you can give us?
Yeah, I mean, the character itself of Black Panther, it's a guy named T'Challa. It's played by Chadwick Boseman. And it's explained in the movie in, like, the opening sequence that, in case people are keeping up with all the Infinity Stones and Thanos and all that sort of stuff, there's a stone that lands, like, many, many years ago, there's a stone that lands on the Earth in Africa, and it basically creates vibranium, which, as we know, is the substance that was used to make Captain America's shield. And vibranium is, like, this highly advanced substance that it kind of powers all things. Like, it can power technology, it can power agriculture and things like that. And so what it does is it turns this territory, which is referred to as Wakanda, into this very technologically advanced society. So you have all these people that live in Wakanda, which is within Africa, but it's hidden in a sense that it kind of like the way in Wonder Woman, the island of Themyscira was hidden from the outside world. Mm-hmm. This is very, very similar in the sense that the island of Wakanda, or the territory of Wakanda, is hidden from the outside world to where, you know, nobody really knows it's there. Nobody really realizes that you have this technologically advanced city and all these people living in it. And so King T'Challa is responsible for, you know, overseeing the territory. And what's really interesting is that they very easily could have gone into this story by saying, you know, Wakanda was just this one territory with one group of people, but instead they did something which I think is great, and that is they show the fact that Wakanda is actually made up of several different territories with several different tribes and leaders of these tribes. So it's just like a real African country where, like, you have, you know, different territories that are ruled by different people, but King T'Challa is kind of over all of them. And so and while he is this very regal and royal king, at night, you know, he goes out and, you know, fights these, like, African mercenary slave traders, you know, dressed up as the Black Panther. He's going out and kicking butt at night and everything. So he's, like, splitting his duties between being the king of this great country and also being a superhero and saving the lives of people that live there. But at the same time being kind of this globe-trotting, similar to, like, Tony Stark in some ways. I mean, there's definitely comparisons you could draw to Iron Man, but in a weird way, there's also moments in the film that kind of feel almost like a James Bond type character. Like, you know, we get the sense that he's this globe-trotting guy that goes on missions and has someone. His sister in the movie is kind of like Q. She supplies him with gadgets and things like that, and she's using the vibranium to create technological advances and things like that. So because of this whole concept of like the stone hitting the island and creating like vibranium all over the place, it allows us to see this really unusual and very advanced futuristic sort of society. So it almost has like a sci-fi element to it while still being very much Earth-based. But they do cool stuff because they'll show you like traditional ceremonies where you'll see kind of like very traditional African-looking ceremonies. So it basically says that even though these people are an advanced society, they still cling to the old ways. And so yeah, I'm just telling you, man, it's so hard to describe it to people because it's really unlike anything else, especially superhero movies. It's unlike anything that we've seen before, and it's very unique and very, very satisfying.
Well, I'll tell you what, from the trailers, the action looks phenomenal. The casting, of course, looks really great, too. So, yeah, it looks like a slick, just awesome movie, man. I'm really excited about going to see it.
Like I said, I think this is one of the best Marvel movies that they've made so far. And one of the things that's really refreshing about it, I mean, outside of the fact that, we're finally seeing a movie like this that kind of explores the African-American culture and has that kind of representation to it. And it's one of the things that you don't necessarily see in the trailers, but there's a lot of really strong women in this movie, too. Like, there's a lot of female characters that are extremely, for lack of a better way of putting it, badass, and can totally kick butt alongside, all the superheroes. And I think that it was really cool that Marvel made it a point to show that in the film and sort of set it up to where, if there are future, like, we do know that based on the trailers for Avengers Infinity War, we know that Wakanda is going to play a part in the Infinity War storyline. So it's nice to know that they've kind of set up these strong female characters that will be fighting alongside with our superheroes, and then hopefully we'll be seeing more of that. I think that Wonder Woman and the success of Wonder Woman and maybe the success of this movie, because I'm sure it's going to be a huge success, I think this will open the doors for us seeing a lot stronger female characters in these comic book films. So it's very refreshing, and it's kind of fun to see that, especially Denai Guerrera from The Walking Dead. She's absolutely great in this movie. So, and also one of the things that I loved about this film that I wanted to make sure to mention is that Marvel movies have sort of been plagued with weak villains. Like, a lot of the movies, like, they may have really good heroes and really good stories and really good characters and whatnot, but the villains always seem to come across a little bit weak. Michael B. Jordan, who plays the bad guy in this one, is terrific. He is one of the best Marvel villains that we've seen so far. He has really understandable motivations. It's kind of interesting in a way, because when they reveal why he's doing what he's doing, you can almost sympathize with it. It's a very interesting sort of take on the typical Marvel villain. So I was very pleased with that. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to say it, but, go out and check this movie out this weekend, because I think this is going to be one that a lot of people are going to be talking about. It's already on track to have a $165 million opening weekend. As far as Fandango is concerned, it's sold more tickets than any other Marvel movie to date, or pre-sold. So I think it's going to be a huge hit, and I hope people give it a chance and check it out. It's really, really great.
Again, that's Black Panther in theaters today, rated PG-13. Obviously, a must-see for any Marvel fan, and probably everybody else as well, too. So let's see, anything else in theaters? Not a whole lot to choose from. Looks like they steered clear letting Black Panther take it all, but there's one called Early Man that's going to be coming out today as well, too. Yeah,
this is from the guys from Aardman Entertainment, the same guys that brought us the Wallace and Gromit movies. So it's done very much in that style, although this one has a prehistoric setting. I've heard that it's fun. I've heard it's entertaining. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to see it, but I think it looks like it's going to be really cute. And almost anything that those guys produce, I don't know if you're a fan of Wallace and Gromit, but anything that those guys produce, it's almost always a lot of fun to watch.
Right. So they did Wallace and Gromit. They did Shaun the Sheep, and I believe way back in the day did Chicken Run, right?
Yes.
So yeah,
right.
those are all classics, man. My kids love all those.
These these guys have a lot of home runs under their belt. I'm sure this one's going to be just as good.
Well, very good. All right, man. Well, what else you got going on BigFanboy.com?
Well, one thing I wanted to make sure and tell your listeners, we're kind of partnering up with you guys, and we're doing a promotion for a screening of the new Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams comedy called Game Night. The screening is going to be held on Wednesday, February 21st. And if everybody checks out, just go to the KVOU Facebook page. It's facebook.com/KVOU 1049, and you will get information on how to get tickets for Game Night for next week. This is for San Antonio. And so we just want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to check that out. I'm kind of under a bit of a gag order because sometimes when you see these screenings, they make you sign an agreement that says you're not going to talk about the movie until a certain date. But I can say this. I've seen Game Night. It is very, very funny.
All right.
If you like kind of like dark adult comedies like Horrible Bosses, those types of movies, Office Christmas Party, you're gonna love it. It's just really, really fun, funny, a funny dark comedy for if that's your sense of humor, and it certainly is for me. I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit. It's great.
All right, again, that's a chance to go see Game Night, the premiere in San Antonio, Wednesday evening. If you want to go for free before it hits theaters, go to our Facebook page at KVOU 1049 and download or print your pass to go see that, courtesy of BigFanboy.com and Fanboy Friday. So what's going on the site? Which I heard you guys were doing a little bit of an overhaul on Facebook and the website?
Well, basically in reference to Dallas Comic Show, yeah, we're getting ready to announce some dates for Dallas Comic Show coming up the rest of this year. And so we just did kind of a quick little overhaul on the Dallas Comic Show page just to get people hyped up. So, yeah, if they tune into the website or if they want to go to Facebook, and it's just facebook.com/Dallas Comic Show or twitter.com/Dallas Comic Show. And just stay tuned there. We'll be announcing dates about our upcoming events. And if you guys have never been to one of these shows, it's a fun and affordable alternative to some of the big box shows that are out there. You know, nowadays it's getting to the point where a lot of these big conventions are so expensive. I mean, the tickets to get in the door are extremely expensive. The ticket, everything that you want to do inside the show is very expensive. We purposely are trying to offer people an alternative where you can come, you can enjoy the show, and not go broke while you're trying to do it. So, if you guys have never checked out Dallas Comic Show before, stay tuned because we're getting ready to announce dates for this year, and we got a lot of fun stuff planned. And then also at BigFanboy.com, we've posted up a couple of fun trailers. We've got the new Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie, Rampage, which is based on the classic arcade game. I'm sure you remember it, Robert.
Absolutely.
I was a big fan of that game when I was younger.
Lots of quarters I poured into that bad boy, and then I got it on like Sega Genesis. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that one. I don't know why. I've got to see it, so.
Well, I mean, the concept of the game was so funny because it was like you played a giant gorilla, or a giant lizard, or a giant flying wolf.
Right.
Destroyed buildings, and the object of the game was to destroy the building and then try to make it to the next city to destroy more buildings. And I thought to myself, when they said they were going to make a movie about this, I thought there's no way they can adapt that and have it be anything halfway decent. But, man, I got to tell you, I've seen 2 trailers for this thing now. And both trailers make this movie look really, really entertaining. So I'm actually kind of excited about it. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Oh, yeah, I'm really excited about it, too. I'd say that. But it sounds like it's going to be dumb, but I bet it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, it'll be big, dumb fun. I think The Rock is kind of embracing, these are the kind of movies we're going to see from him. But I think he's kind of embraced it. I mean, he's got Jumanji, which obviously did very, very well. Rampage is coming out, and then we've got the Skyscraper movie coming out. I think he's kind of embraced the fact that, he's playing kind of that goofy pop culture action hero. And, hey, more power to him, man. If it works, it works. But the other trailer that hit this week that's probably got a lot of people talking right now is Incredibles 2. This is Pixar's follow-up to the popular Incredibles movie. A lot of people have been waiting for this one. And it kind of looks like they're sort of playing a Mr. Mom angle with this one, with having Mr. Incredible having to kind of step up and be Mr. Mom while everybody else is out saving the day. So that should be kind of interesting and fun to see what they do with that. I was a huge fan of that first movie.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see what they do with the follow-up. And it's written directed by Brad Bird, who did the first one. Brad Bird, of course, responsible for movies like The Iron Giant. So I'm sure it's going to be a terrific film.
All right, Mark. Well, thanks again for all of your information and input as always. Remember to check out bigfanboy.com. And once again, let's give it up to professional Q&A moderator and speaker, film critic at bigfanboy.com, and show director at the upcoming Dallas Comic Show. Mark your calendar soon. Give it up one more time for Mr. Mark Walters. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it.